we are alive. Anything that you want, anybody, any information that
Jenny,
you
my
want
suggestion,
out
if you can
there,
hear me, my
this is
suggestion
all
would just
about
be to
what you,
always remember that you don't want to slander.
yeah. So I
Just
always
point
tell
out the
everybody, we
evidence
don't have
of
to name
the facts of,
names.
what needs to be done. Be careful as far as slandering because you don't want
Yes.
anyone to file a suit on you for, slander.
I just make it clear to everybody, these are just the family's perspective, what's been going on in the investigation. And I make it a point to, I think everybody should know these loved ones a little bit before they know what happened to them. So that's how you usually start off. Um,
Mhm.
it's just letting us get to know Diana and who she was, and then just kind of lead into how she met her girlfriend, and just this is your guys' time to get any information out there. I just want to remind everybody that these are family members of Diana. I do not tolerate any bashing. We are not accusing. We are just speculating and going over the informations that surround her, the circumstances of her disappearance, in hopes to get information out there to bring her home. So I will ban anybody that bashes. We can have difference of opinions, but we don't. We are all adults, and I shouldn't even have to say this. So, if you guys just want to start out, I do. Joining us is Donna, is Diana's mother. She is on here too. She just couldn't, for some reason, get on StreamYard, so she is on Messenger, and she can hear, and you guys can hear her too when she speaks. So I'm just here to make sure the comments stay in line, but this is your guys' time. I would appreciate learning about Diana before this happened to her, so I will let you guys speak.
Go ahead, Donna.
I just wanted to know that I let everyone know that my daughter's still out there. She's missing. I just want to get her home. If anybody knows anything about her, any little thing about my daughter, please help me get her home. Please. Her kids need her. I need her.
How many children does she have?
She has five. She has five babies. The oldest one called me not too long ago, and she told me, "Why did my mom leave me?" I didn't know what to tell her. I didn't know what to tell her, but tell her that we're still looking for her mom. I just want her home, actually. I want my baby home.
Now, I guess if you guys want to start off just how the investigation is going. I mean, what are you guys getting help? Are you guys getting support? Are they looking into it? Where's
Ashley, I just want to say I'm Diana's Aunt Jenny. I'm in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Diana is a good, loving, kind person. Diana, I was out there with Diana for a while when she was raising her three children, her oldest three daughters. Diana's a good mother. Diana worked and she would take care of her kids. Diana would never abandon her kids. And I reported Diana missing, and the cops said that they went out there and they did a search. They didn't find nothing of Diana's. They went back a second time, Ashley. They found belongings that belonged to my niece. I let Imperial County Detective Hurtado know that Danny's been using the EBT card of my niece because I have proof from the store.
and
And he
this was
told me that
after she was missing?
my niece was missing, yeah. And nothing. We went out there for a search, and he told me, Detective Hurtado told me he would be out there. He wasn't nowhere to be out there. I ended up coming in contact with the chief of police for the reservation. And we left and we did a second search where we found DNA of my nieces in the trailer. The background and the mattress was in that trailer. The cops came out and they told my sister, which is Diana's mom and my sister Nancy, they came out and got DNA. But there was DNA on the ceiling of the trailer, on the side of the trailer, the mattress that there's a picture of Diana with blood on her. That same
And the
mattress and
couch.
everything is in there. Huh?
The couch too.
The couch, yeah. There's a lot of DNA, and all I asked them is, how can you release Danny, which is Daniela Meaden, if she was arrested in August of 2019 on attempted murder on my niece Diana, and now Diana is missing?
And how far apart was that?
From I believe it's dated August of 2019, and Diana came up missing, I believe, May of last year.
Now, what do the LE over there have to say? What is their version? Are they saying that she just left? Is that even possible?
Danny stated in a comment that she burnt my niece, and then she talked about she fed my niece to this dog that we got videos of, and a dog eating something. We can't see what it is, but she stated that Diana was never coming back, and Diana was gone. And then there was another time where Danny stated that she cut her up with a machete.
And she's just openly saying this?
Yeah, she's open with saying it, but Danny intends to only get with people that have no backbone, because her new girlfriend, she's done the same thing. It's just that girlfriend, she's still where people could find her. She's been arrested several times on DB and attempted murder, and they just keep on letting somebody go that's on parole and probation. And now all of a sudden they're looking for Danny. But like my sister's saying, we just want Diana back regardless.
Yeah.
Ashley, to mention this too, she tried to cash one of my daughter's checks that she got not too long ago, and she used her food stamp card at the store, and the store has her on video camera with the wig on, trying to use my daughter's card.
So, I guess what I'm wondering, what is so special about this Daniela
Meaden, I really don't know nothing that's special about her. I think she's sick in her head, and
I don't understand why
I don't understand, Ashley, why they keep on letting her go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What is so special about this little teeny? Because I've seen pictures of her. She's nothing.
She's nothing for us to be scared of.
I bet you she's about my build. Maybe just a little bit taller, maybe, but she's a teeny little thing.
Yeah, but she looks pretty tiny, because the methamphetamine, it got her really petite. You know, she's skinny. She's not a heavy person. She's a mother of 3 biological kids, and you know, it's like, I wouldn't hurt nobody's kid, but you just mess with one of ours. You know, Diana is a mother of 5. So all we want is Diana. And then there's property that the cops said that they haven't even found. They finally did a search on the trailer, and they came in contact with my niece's cell phone, which on the first search, they didn't find it. The second search, they found it. And they're talking about they can't get in the phones, and they got Danny's phone. And then not too long ago, Danny made a Facebook with my niece's info, and the cops got it, I guess, in her phone, that she's trying to message people saying she's Diana.
And all of this is after she has gone missing.
She's gone missing.
She's still.
Yeah. And with the trip, Ashley, because I made a call to the FBI in San Diego, California, and they took a report, and then they told me that they can't get involved on the case until Detective Hurtado contacts them. But come on, it's been over a year and a half. My niece is missing. You know, we want my niece, and we want to know, why ain't he contacting the FBI in San Diego, which the San Diego FBI said they would get involved only if he calls them.
So that's what maybe we should do is,
well, we refuse to give up, Ashley. We won't give up. We're not a family to just give up. But all I can say is Danny really messed with the wrong family?
I'm wondering, I know somebody who knows how to make petitions or give me the right way to make a petition. I wonder if we get enough people to sign a petition, if he will be forced to turn it over to make that call.
Ashley, but what's crazy is because I talked to a detective, Sane, out of Yuma, Arizona PD, and he told me that he contacted Deputy Detective Hurtado and told him he got somebody to access them cell phones, and Detective Hurtado is not releasing them cell phones. Now we want to know what's the reason why he ain't wanting to release the phones to get in it if we got a lot of stuff off the phone.
Yeah. And I can't understand why they would be protecting, or not protecting, but why would they?
The only thing,
yeah, just be letting somebody like her. What is her? She's not this big, upstanding citizen. She's
give her to me, Ashley, for 2 seconds. Give her to me.
Ashley, the whole thing is there are a lot of dirty cops, and there's a lot of sex trafficking, and and is Imperial County part of that? Because they got several people that are missing and they're not doing nothing, but this is one family that we just refuse to give up. We want what belongs to us,
See, I wonder if another people.
It's just not that. It's just too. Actually, I'm home. I'm home, and I'm thinking about Diana every day. And I'm thinking about not growing up without a mother. That really bothers me. I can imagine what those kids are going to be going through. We don't hear nothing about their mom.
It's one thing to have lost a parent, but it's another to not know. I mean, you have said that they asked, why she left. And I mean, the only thing I could offer is to you make it damn known that she did not walk away from those babies. Somebody is preventing her from coming back. And I can't imagine how they feel right now. You can't tell them, she's in heaven or she's coming back because we just don't know. And kids, they oftentimes wonder what they did. And I can't imagine all the things that's going through their head.
But the whole thing, Ashley, we reach out to people and we reach out, but we could never get a hold of the right people, and now we're being refused by the chief of police in Imperial County. We can't go out and do no more searches. What's the reason? Okay, yes, I acted out because a guy came at us wrong, me and my other sister, Nancy, but we have our reasons. We're there to look for our niece, Everybody else got their loved ones. Why can't we have my niece back?
Well, I think that if everybody was given the most thorough investigation, you guys would have never been the ones out there looking in the first place. You would have had.
And they talk about they brought the dogs out. Okay. I was talking to a lady that lives close to where they were doing the search. They said they were Daver dogs. They weren't Daver dogs. They were K9 unit dogs. And Imperial County says they were diver dogs. No, they're for to sniff out drugs, not bodies.
So they wouldn't have hit.
And we're not just around the corner. We traveled. I've traveled both times, 6 states away. And go out there and still find nothing. Well, this second search, we found a lot. And my sister Nancy had them contact the Imperial County. And they came out and they said that, oh, he already got DNA. How are you going to get DNA if nothing ain't been cut from nothing to get DNA?
Were you ever out there when they were out there?
The only time they were out there, Ashley, is when we did our searches. We had the reservation police with us at all times because in case something happened.
Yeah.
But we weren't scared of nothing happening. We were scared for what's going to happen when we find Danny. Not us. We don't care for ourselves, but now we're being refused for searches,
Have they ever actively done a thorough search to your knowledge?
No, Danny's giving them a soft story saying Diana's here in Arkansas with us, which why would I call her and report her missing
Yeah.
if she's here with me? Because nobody would be able to come and harm her here. And then you go and say Diana's in Mexico. Diana ain't been in Mexico for years.
And there
And
has
then why
not been
would you
any
want to make a
contact on social media, or there's not been any life, like form of life, like she hasn't been to the doctor, been to the hospital, used
Oh,
insurance.
she's been to the hospital a lot, Ashley, there in Yuma, Arizona.
No, during
For being beat.
after Diana disappeared, there hasn't been any usage of anything that would assume that she ran off somewhere and just didn't want to be found.
Diana knows her mom's very sick. Donna's very sick. And Diana would not do this to her mother, knowing her mom's going to be stressed out and it being this long. Diana wouldn't do this to her children. People don't know Diana, but Diana's one of the best nieces we have. Diana's not a disrespectful kid. She'll respect you as long as you respect her. And Diana was a good mother, Ashley. Up until, she got involved with Daniela meeting.
Now, when did they meet? How long were they together?
That, truthfully, Ashley, I can't tell you. Maybe my sister Donna would be able to tell you.
I say about a year and a half before all this happened.
Did they live together where she disappeared from?
Yeah.
When was the last time that you had contact with her that day, or the last time that you heard?
The last time I talked to her was around May, because she told me my mom's birthday is May the 15th. She told me, she goes, Mom, what are you gonna do for Grandma's birthday? I told her I meant just drink. And that was around maybe the 10th, maybe.
And she went missing. What was it?
Had to be after that.
Yeah.
Ashley, but the whole thing is Daniela Josephine Meaden, the cops has been told she was actually the last person seen with Diana.
And that's been
Diana was living
confirmed. That's
Yeah, but there is another guy there. Danny told me they got in an argument. Okay. That morning, she took off. Diana went chasing after her. That's the last time she seen Diana. The next door neighbor is Jason Dupe. He said he seen Diana leaving to go look for Danielle. Which I don't think that's true, because usually Diana's the one that's leaving, and Danny's the one that's always looking for her.
See, I can that would be that would be my opinion too.
But Ashley, the whole thing is Diana, my niece, was a heavyset girl. And the names Daniela is throwing out there to the police, they all have records.
That's
and
what I was
two
wondering.
of them are her best friends from elementary school or high school or whatever. And you guys ain't doing your job.
Because if something happened to Diana that night, I just can't see Danielle being able to do. She had to have had help. If
she had help, but she's going around telling people, "Oh no, Diana's in Mexico. Diana had another baby. Diana won't have no more kids. She has the 3 girls and the 2 boys."
So if she was able to, she would have definitely, even if she had to get away from Danielle, once she was safely away, she would have reached out. She wouldn't have just left everything behind, including her kids.
No, she wouldn't, unless actually she was handcuffed to the bathroom, to a pole, or to the bathroom. That's what Danny used to do to her. She said handcuff her, keep her in the bathroom, sleep in the bathroom, maybe won't feed her for 2 days.
And a lot of people are probably wondering out there, and they're going to wonder, so why didn't Diana just leave before And
I don't know how come she didn't leave.
I just think in a lot of those times, I don't think Danielle is dumb. For as dumb as she, I don't think she senses those vulnerabilities in people. And I think just hearing about Diana, she just had a big heart, whether she wanted to fix her or I think she went in with the best intentions and she really did love her. And people like Danielle, they manipulate. And before you know, you have so much love for this person, but this person is hurting you. And it's just not that easy to leave. It is not. They're very manipulative. And I think that's exactly what Danielle is. I don't think that she could step to anybody that could hold their own. And I think a lot of people like that, anybody that would like step to her or question her in those areas. But I don't think Diana did in the beginning and then I think that's why a lot of it is with people going through that situation is you don't see it until you're in so deep. And I don't think people understand how hard it is to get out of that because you just don't stop loving that person just because they're this evil person. So it's very complicated. And so I hope anybody watches does not judge. It doesn't matter. What matters is she was last seen with her and she has not been home since. And there are questions that need to be answered. I wonder if there is a way that we could, because I don't know, I'm learning as I go, but I wonder, and I will talk to my friend that I know, if there's a way that we could just start a petition around to see if we can get enough signatures to where it leaves that jurisdiction. You know what I mean? To get some fresh eyes, to make him make that phone call to hand it over.
But if he can't do his job, why doesn't he give it to somebody else that could do their job and done called the FBI? Because you're telling me Detective Hurtado at an Imperial County Sheriff's Department is just pretty much sitting on his ass. Yeah. He doesn't want to get none of our calls. He rejects my calls because I'm constantly trying to call him, Ashley. And it's like, I've told him, if it was one of your family members, you would have done been on it. Okay, since it's not, you go home every day comfortable to go to sleep. Yes, you know, all we want my niece.
And if you're not,
you know, and him being law enforcement, come on, truthfully, I'm a criminal, but this is making me hate the law more because they're supposed to protect and serve. They're not protecting and serving nothing over there in Imperial County. Nothing.
But sitting on their butt. More likely, because actually I talked to that detective a week and a half ago. I asked him, I go, oh, now you're answering your phone, huh? He said, well, can I help you, Ms. Gonzalez? I said, well, is there any updates on my daughter? Nope, no updates. He wanted to more likely to hear everything that I know to give to him, which he knows everything already. He's just not getting up there and doing it, his job.
I feel maybe he's covering up something for Danny, but who is Daniela Josephine Meade? Nobody.
Yeah. She just doesn't seem like anybody worth putting your ass on the line for, I guess. So I don't understand why there's especially, I mean, in the Gabby Petito case, she was missing for way less time and he used her card and he had a charge for it. If they would have found him, he would have been brought in and charged with that. And I'm sure more charges would have followed, but I don't understand how they haven't charged her for using her cards in the period of time.
No, and cashing her stimulus check, they said that's okay. But that's what I don't understand. That is fraud. People go to jail for fraud.
So, yeah.
So if I go to Imperial County and get somebody's check and cash it, I'm gonna be okay, according to them.
That is That just doesn't make any sense to me where it's not okay in one case, but in another case it's totally allowable, because you said she was using her EBT card after she was missing.
The lady that works at the store, Ashley, she messaged me and sent me on a piece of paper. She looked at the card Danny was using. It said Diana Gonzalez.
She sent a picture too.
And she's on
and she called Detective Hurtado, and she told Detective Hurtado at Imperial everything, and he told her, I'll be by to look at the videos. Do you know, till this day, he hasn't been there to get no video. So what's his reason for not going to get evidence? You got, it's not just a missing person. It's worse than a missing person. Now, if I was to go over there and find Danny, oh, I'm going to jail for trespassing. Okay. You know, that don't scare nobody, trespassing. But I'm going to go to jail. You guys are going to arrest me, but you can't arrest her on set. And there's been a lot of times the cops, I myself called to make missing reports on my niece Diana, and they went out. You know what they tell me on one call? They told me, oh, we were talking to her through the door. She said she was okay. How are you going to talk to her through the door? You got to see this person in person.
Yeah.
But that's from Imperial County.
Now does I don't even know how they had a relationship. I would be so tongue tied. Now does Danielle still live at the same place?
She's in between Winterhaven, California, and Yuma, Arizona. She's with her new girlfriend Margie Kulik that she's always beating on, and they take her to jail and cases get dropped.
So she doesn't live in the same place that her and Diana lived?
She's between Winterhaven, California, and Yuma. It's just right over the bridge.
Is it?
Go over, and there's Yuma. You come on this side, is Winterhaven.
Not all of it.
Nancy.
I thought she was.
Nancy. Nancy. Can you hear me? Donna?
I'm right here.
Yeah. Done.
Talk, Donna.
Okay, Ashley, when she left here, my daughter left my senior, she left here. She was doing good.
What happened?
Doing good, and all of a sudden
No.
she gets a call.
Huh?
Wait, Donna's talking.
What?
Donna's talking.
You don't hear me?
I do now.
Yeah, now we do.
Yeah?
Nancy, wait, hold on, Nancy. She gets a call, Ashley, and tells me, Mom, I'll be back. I go, where are you going? I'm gonna go check on Danny. See if Danny's okay, because she's running from the law, and she's on parole. And I'm like, let her handle it, Diana. You stay here, do what you have to do. No, she was anxious to go back, so I gave her a couple of rings to put on, and she promised me she'll never take them off. But when she came up missing, we found a picture with Danny having the rings on her hand. She had the rings that my daughter had on her hand.
Now, do police know all, and just confirming, police know all this information?
Actually, they know so much.
You know, the pictures that you sent me, which I will post. I thought I would be able to post as we did this. So I will post everything that you sent me before we went on afterwards. But those are all Diana's items, right?
Yeah.
And they were in the trailer when we did the second search.
I just wanted, because I will be posting those, and I just kind of wanted everybody to know whose they were before I posted them in the pillow and the mattress. Did they take any of that in there?
It's still complete. Like when that picture of my niece that I sent you, It's still there. So what DNA did they take? They should have took a lot of the stuff that was on the bed, on the pillow, and everything seems like it's there. So what did they come in and take?
It didn't seem like they'd cut it out to get a piece of it so they can go test it or nothing like that. Everything's the same way.
I just can't. It's unimaginable to know how differently cases are handled, and what investigation did they do, to your knowledge?
I think we did a better job of finding stuff than they did taking the stuff.
Or even going out looking.
So they won't search and they won't let you search.
They're using, Ashley, that it's reservation. It's the reservation. But come to find out, Danny ain't part of that reservation.
So then
I'm not understanding it.
So then none of that would apply to her.
No.
Ashley, do you know the last search we went to go search for my daughter? We were getting ready to leave and go ask some other girl that we know, go ask her questions. And all of a sudden, when we're getting in the car, some guy comes out and says, Diana's not here. Diana's not here. Diana's not dead. There's no body here. And then my sisters go around and tell him, if you know so much, where is she? Then one of the cops came in. I think he was a sheriff. Was he, Jenny? And he said, search is over. Search is over. What did we do? We didn't do nothing wrong.
Man.
And it's crazy because when we were going to Amy Jo's house, we were en route over there, Ashley. One cop came back and told us if we go any further to her house, the chief of police will arrest all of us for trespassing. Yeah.
Yeah, they had the whole street blocked off.
But she's allowed to cash her check, use her card, pretend she's her, all after the time.
Ashley, and to put it out there, when we did our first search, a cop came from the reservation, and I said, I would like to see that cop that arrested Danny in August of 2019 on attempted murder on my niece. And you know what? He was one there. He says, it's me you're talking to. And I said, why you guys let her go? He says, it wasn't us. It was the Imperial County Sheriff's Department that let her go. We just made the arrest and we turned her over to Imperial.
So
he says, ma'am, if it was us, we would have never let her go because of her history. Yeah. That were his exact words. It was the cop that arrested her. And
this isn't somebody with a clean record or even a little bit of a record. She's got a history of this. There's a pattern. And I just think that her little slaps on the wrist allowed her to feel like that she could do this. And I mean, if I were her right now, I would feel on top of the world. I just got away with nobody could touch me. That's how I would feel if I was her.
And the sad part about it is Imperial County still letting her get away with crime. Yeah. Being on parole and probation, that's 2 ADC numbers out of Arizona Department of Corrections, California Department of Corrections. It's like, damn, what else? Maybe if she kills one of them, they'll really make a big deal. But the names, I want to put the names out there that Danny have gave the cops when she was with the detective. It's Louis Roosevelt, Jason Dupe, and Moses Fuentes. Them names she put out there, and they all have records in nothing.
Are these names that she's saying have knowledge of where Diana is and what happened to her?
She's saying that Louis Roosevelt and then Jose Fuentes are the last ones that see my niece. But everybody that we've talked to said the last person actually that was with my niece and seen with my niece and Diana living with her is Daniela.
Now, has anybody spoken on like the days leading up? Were they fighting a lot? Were they
She was
fine?
always beating on my niece, and Diana would go to the Yuma, Arizona hospital, and Diana would tell him something else so she wouldn't get in trouble. And apparently, she was starving my niece, tying my niece up. And looking at that picture I sent you, you could tell there was violence.
Yes.
And I reported her a couple of times missing. But how are you going to tell me you're talking to my niece through the door? I've never in my life heard nothing like that in, say, Imperial County.
So I guess let me ask you, when did you guys first realize that there was something not right?
Well, actually, me and Diana were really close, but me and my older sister, weren't talking. So she contacted my sister Nancy right there. And Nancy told me, have you heard from Nana? Because we call Diana Nana. And I said, no. Nancy told me, Jenny, she's missing. And as soon as Nancy told me she's missing, I got on the phone and I did a missing report. And they claimed they went out to the house and nobody was there. They contacted Danny by phone and she met him at a trailer, but she took him to the wrong place.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I would just like to, and that's just my opinion. I think she would know.
I guess it keeps on kicking Sean out.
Oh, if he clicks it, I can add him back in. He might just have spotty service where he's at. He said, what did he say? He was up in the...
He's in Hot Springs.
Yeah. That's where he said before we hopped on. So he said he gets really spotty service, but he keeps popping on, and I keep bringing him up every time he pops in.
Nancy, you want to say anything?
I mean, Diana. The last I seen Diana was over 20 years ago. But what I know about her, Diana has a huge heart. A huge heart. I mean, Diana does not even know how to argue with nobody. And she does have 5 kids. I don't know them personally, but she has 5 kids and they're all underage.
Yeah.
I used to talk to her on the phone. I've been here in Fort Smith, Arkansas for 7 years. And I've talked to Diana since I've been here, before she came up missing. And she asked me, she wanted to get away from Danny. And she asked if we would send her a bus ticket. But she was on drugs real bad. And I was scared, send her the money because she was going to use it for drugs. So we made an agreement to buy her ticket and her just go to the Greyhound and give them the password or whatever, and she'll get on it. And after that, she was okay with Danny again, so she didn't need the ticket. So, but I used to FaceTime Diana. Diana's so beautiful. She's beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
Yes, she is. And she is one of the best nieces. And then I hear this, she's missing. And I didn't go out for the first search, but I went for the second one, which I was really hoping to bump heads with Danny. I wanted to.
Did she ever go out and search?
No. But for the first search, I believe my cousin seen her standing at a porch with the gun in her pants. So, I mean, who's going to fight somebody who
just gives off this?
So it just went on that way. And now I'm hearing Danny's putting it out there that she cut up Diana. She fed her to the dogs, or to a dog. And, she's just saying different stuff,
telling us, and just nobody's taking her serious.
No. We just, however it comes up, we just want to know. It hurts us more not knowing. We want her back. However we get her, we want her back. If it's the messed up way, we need to lay her to rest.
She needs to come home. whether it's coming home.
We need closure.
Yes.
That's what we need. We need closure. Because you know what? My family, really, excuse my language, we're all fucked up right now in our head. I might not show it. I got 2 little kids of my own.
Yeah.
I might not show it, but she's my niece.
I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. People around they move on, and then, they start to think, oh, it's been so long. What does it even matter now? And I don't think that they understand that it does matter, that your guys'
it matters.
lives
It matters to us.
Yes, your lives have stopped on that day, and I don't think people
And
realize.
to top it off, Ashley, she's the firstborn. She's her firstborn niece, nephew, and first one. And it hurts. But we want her home. We want to know something. We want answers. That's what we want.
And that's what we ain't getting from Imperial County.
I mean, what is it? We got to go out and get our own
It's
answers?
like he's just sitting pretty much on his ass.
So why not hand it to somebody who's going to do their job?
Exactly.
But at the same time, since he wants to hold on to the case, is he in cahoots towards my niece? Because there is crooked cops.
Oh,
But,
yeah. You're right, but people think that people put on, and I made a whole post about it. People just think, I know wonderful cops that take this stuff home. They can't even separate it because it becomes part of their lives. I know them personally. But they're, for the other ones that people think they wear a badge. They're just this automatic superhero, good,
I ran into some,
but they are
Ashley,
still
don't get me
people,
wrong,
corrupt, sinning people.
There is some good law enforcement agencies that really take in consideration what's going on. But there's some that is more crookeder than what we are. Why are you guys protecting her? Now she's beating on another lady, and she keeps on going to jail, and they let her go.
Especially with the history.
What is it going to take?
In most situations, it takes this. So that's
But you know what, Ashley? I don't wish death on nobody. I really don't. But on this case with Margie Kulik that Daniela Meaden's doing, I really wish the cops would find Danny full of blood. It's to the point. Is that what it's going to take for us to find my niece? And it's sad because she does have a family. I don't know if they care about her, but she has a family. She's somebody's daughter, just like Diana's somebody's daughter.
That's what people don't understand. It could happen. It doesn't matter who you are. Diana could be anybody's sister, aunt, niece, cousin, friend, co-worker.
We've had a lot of people talk good about Diana. Diana was going to church. She was seeing her kids at church. And a lot of people out of Arizona, they're in shock that Imperial County ain't doing nothing about it.
And the big is why? Why?
That's what we want to know. Why?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. Really did.
Or somebody out there knows something. Somebody had to have. I mean,
somebody knows something.
Whoever knows anything about what happened with my niece Diana, how would they like to be in our shoes and us know about their family member and not, because Danny ain't nobody to be scared of, or her little crew. They're nobody to be scared of because it pretty much looks like they just bully people,
So how are Diana's friends? What have they had to say?
They're saying this is not Diana to do this.
Does Danny have any friends?
Probably the demon or everybody that thinks like her and that they think they're going to get away with this, but everything comes out in the light.
Yeah.
Everything.
I'm just wondering how big the group was of like the circle of friends and how the possibility of how many people Danny could have confided in, and all those people that have not said anything about it.
I don't know, because Danny, if you look at her, she can't scare a fly,
No,
you know.
but I mean, given the right person, anybody could be.
But like
intimidated.
I was saying, actually, my niece ain't a fighter. She
Yeah,
does not like to argue. She don't even know how to argue. She has a big heart, huge heart. She's sweet, and my niece is a big girl, and so I know Danny had help.
yeah.
So I know that my niece won't fight back. She won't.
Now, I seen the picture of the mattress and what it appears to be blood in the on that mattress.
Yeah, I went
Actually,
into
it's
that
on the
trailer. I seen
ceiling.
it all.
It's on the panels in the trailer. It's everywhere in that trailer. And
It
if
was
you
on
look in
a
the
recliner,
bathroom, it looks like there was just a mattress in that bathroom.
and that's where they said that Danny used to tie her up.
And they just left all of that.
Donna, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Go ahead and talk, and we'll be quiet so you can talk and get what you have to get out there, because we need all
Yes.
the help right now we can get to reach the FBI, because this is going, we're not going to forget about Diana, but this is going too far now. And them phones, there's stuff in them phones that he ain't saying.
Well, I'm going to talk to a friend of mine that knows a lot about petitions and what they could do. And I'm going to see if maybe we get enough signatures and say, what we're petitioning for to get it out, at least out of the jurisdiction, or for the FBI to pick it up. There's got to be a way we can get enough signatures and people will see. And I'm hoping it could bring some attention and somebody look at it and say, you know what, yeah. Because if they're not making the call themselves, maybe we can, with everybody signing, or I will talk to him and see what he thinks about it. Because there's got to be a way we get enough attention to that petition.
Actually, but anything you could do to help us, we really appreciate it from the bottom of our heart.
Please, please.
I'm going to talk to him. He's really good at that, and he'll know exactly what I'm trying to say.
Actually, how can you just let these people that their names were involved with my daughter's disappearance? How can you just let them go?
To your knowledge, have any of them been questioned or brought in?
He told me.
But one, Ashley, Jason Doopy, after my niece came up missing, he straight up left the state.
Yeah.
And has a criminal record.
Has anybody, like, I guess, been named an official person of interest?
No, they're using it as my niece. She just wandered off. Detective Gonzalez, that's what he's using. Diana won't just wander off from us. Especially if she's seen the stuff she sees on Facebook, she's going to reach out to somebody.
Yeah. Was she very active on social media? Like, was she social enough to where people would know
that something's wrong?
She didn't just, because me, I have a lot of friends, but I tell you what, a lot of them will tell you I drop off the face of the earth, but they still, see me active. There's still ways to know that I'm doing good and I'm alive and well. And so I understand that there are people out there that do like to disappear and not be heard from, but I'm just confirming with all of you that is not something that Diana would do. She would never just go off and leave her kids. If she would leave,
and Diana wouldn't leave without her purse
with her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's just what I want to make clear. Because the biggest thing is, the police say these are adults. They can leave. They can disappear if they want. But I keep saying if the whole family is crying out, saying that is not a possibility, then maybe we should listen to them a little bit more.
But they keep on letting the suspect get out. She was just arrested on attempted murder on R.G. Kulik, and it got dropped to just domestic violence.
Now, when she did for Diana, were those charges dropped by Diana or the state, or how did that happen?
Because Diana, according to my knowledge, Diana was being threatened from Daniela if she went ahead with the charges that she knows where Diana's sons live.
Well, and that's why a lot of, domestic violence victims back out, because they may be charged, spend a day or two in jail, and what are you going to do for me when they get back out?
But the whole thing is, Ashley, when a person has a history being in and out of ADC or CDC, okay, there's somebody to look at. And if you got a record of always putting your hands on people, beating on them constantly, the same person, the same victim, how are you going to just let them go? And now that person is missing. If Imperial County would have held her in on these charges, the state could have picked them up. We're not stupid, but the state could have picked it up. She has a criminal history, and my niece had marks on her. How are you going to just let her go? Diana's not going to hit herself.
No. It's terrible.
Donna?
It's absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, I'm in here.
Okay,
Donna, go ahead and talk
about Diana.
How can they? I don't understand. How can they just let them people go that say things about Diana and know things about Diana and supposedly did things with Diana? How can they just let them go and not say, well, where did you hear this from? Or how did you hear this? Or anything like that. They just ask them questions and then they let them go. They can't pin them down and say, well, we're not going to let you go if you don't tell us this or you don't tell us that. Well, then where did you hear all this shit from? Sorry, excuse my language, Ashley.
That's I cuss like a trucker. It's okay. That's why I don't understand. You would think that after they question these people, they would start to spider web out, create a picture, create people, do an investigation.
Yeah.
Into.
Yep. That's what I would do. I would do that. I would maybe just even follow the person that I asked questions to, and see where they lead me. Maybe I could get some more leads there.
And I could understand if they made it appear like they were letting these people go while they were secretly doing an investigation, but that's not the impression you guys are getting, is it?
Actually, what I hear from them is, we got, the COVID. We can't take this person into custody because of COVID. You know what? LA County, they don't care. That's still California. Here, you can go to jail even if you have the COVID. You commit a crime, do your time, But word is that Danny feels, it's a matter of time before she gets caught.
Yeah.
But she wants to blame other people. Okay, blame the right people that did what they did to my niece. We want my niece. Just tell us where she is.
Where she's
at, we'll go.
Because you know what? Because if it was one of their kids, I know they would feel the same way. And I'm asking anybody out there if you know anything. I don't care if it's just like seeing her the other day or I heard this the other day. Something good better than nothing. It'll help me more. It would help solve the puzzle a little bit more. Where Nana's at,
I just think a lot of people think sometimes that, it's small, it wouldn't matter, and they don't understand that the smallest detail sometimes can make or break a move in a case. It could bring possible leads that they didn't have before. And so I always tell everybody, no, nothing is too big or small.
Actually, but
Let
deep
them
down
to
in my heart,
decide.
I feel Detective Hurtado out of Imperial County, he knows more than what he's putting out there. And I
And if
tried
it
calling
were
his
for the right
supervisor, and I
reasons,
never get a response back from the supervisor.
because I understand, like, even in cases that I understand that there are some things that they would even withhold from the family, but they still give enough to know and make them feel that there is an active investigation going on. And have they given you that feeling?
Yeah.
No, he hasn't called me and told me anything. I'm over here asking him questions. Why ain't they doing anything? It's a little town right there. I mean, it's not hard. It shouldn't be hard because they could rule over everybody else there. It's not hard.
I mean, and they're not dealing with somebody with a lot of connections or means, or she's just a little Danny from wherever, and she's just not that very important as far as. So I don't understand.
It's like everybody's hiding something over there, so they're hiding something they're not saying. And
Is it because something else is going on, and if they make a move in this case, that's going to be dreaded up?
That's the thing. That's the deal, right there. Is there anything else going on besides something major? Maybe something big. I don't know.
Well, I'm hoping, and that's why I made this page, is I'm hoping that enough people start talking about this and asking what the hell happened here, to where it cannot be ignored anymore. I am from Ohio, and not a lot of people up here have heard about this. So I hope that we can start making waves up here and everywhere, and I think everybody should have the same chance at the big news coming in and talking to you and picking up your story and just putting it out there constantly and putting pressure on somebody. And I hope the right person, my hope is somebody that's watching this that isn't empowered to do something outside of the jurisdiction steps in and says, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what you can do. So if anybody out there in that position is watching, this is the whole point of doing this right now. So I would love it if people start reaching out to these families like, this is what we can do, because I don't know, and I will love to learn so that way it can help. But that's why we need to share, because somebody will either know something that happened, somebody will know how to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Apparently they're not wanting to do. And I mean, it's time to just force their hand a little bit, whether they want to say, hey, okay, we'll pick up, we'll do it now. Or somebody else will say, we'll do it for them, is my biggest hope that we can come out of this. So.
Yeah. And somebody, I know there's people out there that have heart. There's some people that don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
People that don't want,
And I understand people don't want to go to the police. So that's why I always say, they come to you guys, because I feel like you guys would be the next best persons to tell them where to go if they don't want to speak to the police. So I always encourage everybody, don't get a hold of me. I don't want the leads. I don't want the tips. If you don't want to go to the police, the next best place to go to is to talk to you guys, and you will point them in the right direction on where to go. So.
Well, there's a reward out there for $20,000 with any information that leads to my niece Diana. And it's like, come on, you could benefit off of that just like we can.
Yeah.
Let's exchange. Take us to where my niece is, and we'll give you the money.
And they don't have to say who they are. Isn't it an anonymous tip line? They don't even have to give their, if they don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, what did Diana do to anybody out there? they're not saying where she's at or what they know or what they've seen. She has done nothing that bad for them. Nobody's saying anything.
And I've never met Danielle, but I mean, from what I see, she is just not somebody I would be afraid to. Oh, if I say something, she's gonna hurt me. She just doesn't. I think she has a little group of people that have built her ego up to think that she. But I don't understand why she. What is so special to where she has people around her quiet? So I think it's time for those people to speak up.
But the one thing Daniela is a person with no heart.
None.
Because say one of her kids were in this situation, would she care to find her child? Probably not.
No.
Este garage, por eso no abrieron todo, porque no quiere cerrar. Porque yo quería abrirla cuando la cabeza del perro estaba ahí. They're live with my niece.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that this reaches the right people. And like I said, I will talk to my friend about that petition. He'll know what I'm trying to say. He'll know what I'm trying to do. And he will know the best way to set it up if it is possible. And I will drop that link everywhere because I tell you what, there has been a lot of people waiting to hear from you guys. And I'm hoping those same people will help sign it if we can get something going and pass it around and share it.
Please.
As soon as I get off of here, I will shoot him a message. He's done it for a couple of other families that I've been in contact with. So I will storm shoot with him and see if he can't do it, if he can show me or point me in the right direction, and we've got to be able to do something to create enough attention at least to make them do something, either give it away or do something.
Yeah.
Update, go out and re-question, re-lead, redo whatever you did, or let somebody else do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I hope so. And I will definitely, he is usually up late, so he'll probably shoot me a message right back. So I'll message you guys and let you know what he says. And then I will send, honestly, I will send him your way. I will see if I can give his information to you guys, and that way there won't be no middle me here. You guys can talk straight to him. So see what that I will do. I appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you, Ashley.
I know it's hard, but it just shows how much strength you guys have and the willingness to bring her home, because going up against people in power that doesn't want to do nothing is pretty scary. So.
Well, actually, I thought about that too, but
yeah.
At this time right now, actually, I don't care. I just want my baby back home. They didn't have no right to take her away from me or from the kids. They didn't have that. They didn't have that right.
Nobody has that right, and nobody has that right to stop them from coming home. As far as Ellie and the media, like we all have a job to do, and it's 2021. Social media is a wonderful thing, and it has done wonderful things for others. So I think it's time to take that and use it for something else, something a little bit worth using it for. So I really hope everybody shares this and gets her out, and that right person just reaches you guys and they want to help. And I think, like I've been telling everybody, I think the time for posting pictures and writing posts about these loved ones are over. I think people need to start seeing the pain behind these loved ones. I think people need to start seeing the family, and they need to start realizing that it could happen to anyone. It doesn't matter who you are.
Exactly.
And we need to bring that back. I think just, I keep saying with the posts and the pictures, we just come so desensitized and they mesh together. And, I think we need to get to know who these people were. They were regular people. They had regular lives. And they had people that loved them in their lives. And I think we need that. That's what we need to bring back. And I think feeling like looking at your kid and saying, holy cow, that could be mine. I think that's what we need to jumpstart. And I hope it does. I hope it really does. I hope to see more people putting families up there and giving them chances to speak.
Yeah.
I know.
I never thought actually in a million years that this would happen to me. Never thought this would
Nobody
happen.
wants their minds to go there. And I think that's another thing is I don't want to sit and think about what would happen if I don't, but we need to start thinking that way in order to understand and want to help bring these people home. That's exactly the way we need to start thinking. It's a very hard concept for a mom to sit there and think, we're supposed to protect our kids.
Yeah.
So to think anything bad could ever imagine, there's just something in our brain that just shuts that off. Like, no, we're not going to think about that. But we need to reprogram and turn that back on because it could happen.
Yeah, we know that. We know that now. We never thought it would happen to our family, but
it does. It does. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're from. You could be the best person in people's eyes, or people can wonder and think, oh, well, my kid wouldn't be in that situation, so that would never happen. They're wrong. That way of thinking needs to
But nobody can
go.
ever say this couldn't happen to them because they could be easily in my sister's shoes and our shoes,
Yes, just as quickly. And God forbid any of them feeling the way you guys feel right now. It's not just one thing to have her missing and maybe her not coming home alive, but we need to take we need to go there. We all need to go there. You can be rich, you can be poor, you can be
bad, you can be good.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And
this pain that I go through, actually, I wouldn't even want my worst enemy to feel it.
And I can
imagine. This every day. I try not to think about it so much, but I can't help it. My baby's out there. Sometimes I hear her crying. I hear her crying. It's probably just my head messing with me, But I hear her crying though. But I just can't get to her because I don't know where she's at. I just wanted my baby home, so I could get out of this. Ever since this happened, actually, my life's changed. I don't do nothing. I stay here, locked up. I try to go out and associate with people. It just took a toll on me.
And it's hard.
I always think about her.
I think everybody.
Think about her with our good times we had, the good times we had, and why couldn't I be there more? If I knew this was going to happen, I would have never let her go.
And it should never have happened. Ever. Nobody should ever have the right to stop somebody from being able to come home. And it's even worse knowing that person is not being held accountable. You are very strong. I keep telling everybody, it sounds bad for saying this, but I don't know what I would do. But I hope that I could have enough strength to be strong like you guys and do what needs to be
Ashley,
done.
it's hard.
Yeah. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I would sit here and say I would probably be locked up in the loony bin, but I would hope that I would be strong enough to know I have to stay out there and fight until I wouldn't have to anymore. And I'm hoping that a lot of people will stand behind you and fight with you.
Ashley, it's okay to fight and fight, but how come the right people can't help us? How come the detective on the case can't help us? Like, it's not his family member, it's not his niece, it's not his loved one. Okay, why aren't you guys helping us?
And I guess I guess I don't understand the legal side, but in my mind it's just like, what is so hard about handing it over? I mean, I don't know that process, obviously, but if it's just a phone call or signing it off or, literally what would be so hard for him to hand it over if they didn't want to do it? I don't understand.
It shouldn't be hard. If I didn't
No.
want to do it, I was trying to just say, here, take it off my hands. You do it. It's like he wants to keep his stuff going on this investigation so he can get paid more, or have them think that he's doing something that I think like Macho Man or
Just
something.
probably, yeah.
I don't know. Diana's life matters to me.
Sounds like Diana was loved by a lot of people. And she mattered. She was somebody's friend, somebody's niece, somebody's daughter. She mattered. She was a mother. If people don't want to say that she mattered to anybody else, I know damn well she mattered to those kids.
No matter what, she's loved. Actually, she's loved over here. I don't know why she would go back to that girl, man. I don't know what she hated her.
And that's what it is a lot of times. And I don't know if it's in their wanting to fix these people, or these people have a way of manipulating them into thinking it's what they are doing that's causing this. And it's just, some people, could never let that stand, could walk right out the door. You hit me one time, I'm gone, man, I'm done. And for other people, it's just not that
Actually,
easy.
but you know what? It's not easy because I was in a very abusive relationship to where I'm lucky I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah.
My oldest kid's dad, I got beat, and I got with him when I was 12. And I thank God what I know now, I would never let nobody hit me. I'll either run over or I'm going to stick them. But love will make you do some crazy stuff because it did me.
But Diana, she was a very soft heart. She was not one. I don't know her enough to say she wouldn't stick up for herself, but she, from what you guys have said, that she just wasn't the type to really argue. She just, and I think Danielle sensed that in her. I do. I think Diana had to question a lot of times what she did to make her, and it's very sad, but it doesn't take away from the fact that she's not here now, and we don't know where she is, and that needs to change. Nothing inside of anything that she does or what went on between them matters in regards to that doesn't mean she doesn't deserve to come home. That doesn't mean that the person that did it should not be held accountable.
Yeah.
And I really hope that we can get the ball rolling. I really
I hope
hope.
so. I can't take no. I don't want to take. I don't want to see another day without her, or knowing where she's at. If she's gone, then me and my sisters will. We would help her come back so she can rest right.
Yeah. And that's the point a lot of families get to. It's one thing that they're missing, and then it has to be a whole nother realization when you come to the terms like you just want her home, regardless of how it is at that point. And I can't imagine having to also come to that realization, also coming to that feeling. And it could be just a tip. Hey, call. You don't have to give your name. Just say this is where Diana is. Click, and be done with it.
I know, like if somebody wanted to call me and tell me about her, I would just give me that, and I'll give you my word. I won't say nothing just as long as I can go get her, bring her back with me.
Yeah. Time changes, loyalties change, people grow, circumstances change. And it's been almost 2 years now. So I think that it's time for, some people may think that, oh, it's quite down and they get comfy. And so I guess the best hope here I can do is to make them people not so comfy anymore, and to let them know that we're still here, and then they need to talk. Is there any information that anybody watching should know as far as
The only thing they got to do is make sure they're not one day they're not in our shoes. And if whoever out there knows anything about Diana and is not telling us, karma, truthfully, is a motherfucker. But not to wish bad on nobody's children, but how would they like it if it was one of theirs and we knew and weren't saying anything? All we want, if you know anything about her whereabouts or what happened, just contact law enforcement or message us on Facebook. We're all over Facebook with Diana's pictures. I have 2 Facebooks. My Facebook's got a lot of pictures of me. They know who we are.
They don't even have to. They don't even have to give them
let
their
us
names.
get closure. Let us get answers.
Don't even give us your names. No names. We won't ask nothing.
make a fake profile and send the tip if you don't want your real name out there.
Just have it in your heart, have it in your heart. You're doing a good thing for a lot of people. You're doing a good thing for the family.
I don't see how somebody could live with themselves knowing what happened and it's just not saying nothing. Because in my eyes, you're just as guilty as the person that did it, with you knowing.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Yep. I told, once I started this thing, because in a lot of the families I've been talking to, like the friends that were, supposedly love these people so much, or are not supportive, or they aren't talking, or some of them have blocked family. And I told my best friend, I said, if I ever go missing and you're not speaking, and, I hope everybody comes for you because you didn't really love me at all then.
Yeah.
So,
but that's the whole thing. We refuse to give up.
Yeah.
You know, she meant
And
something
who
to
else
us.
is going to
Might
fight
maybe
harder
not
for
them,
Diana than
but
you
she does
guys?
me.
And I think that's kind of what people that don't want this being big rely on. You guys just giving up, becoming quiet, because if you guys are quiet, then
Yeah, you
nothing
know
will
what,
get done.
Ashley? I thank God for Jennifer Contrell, Sean, and Megan. They've been, you know, in this. Jennifer has since it started, and now her brother and Megan. They've been with us a long ways, and we've accomplished a lot being involved with them. And there's somebody that me myself would never want to forget them, because anything on this end, we're all for it to help. But we never knew what this was until it's happened to us. That's why I
And you
said
know what,
easily it could
Ashley?
happen to the next person.
We never even met these people.
No.
We never even met them.
You would
And
be,
they feel like they're family already. Like they're part of me. They're part of Diana.
and
They're
you'd be
part of us
surprised
now.
with the amount of people that would be willing to step forward and point you in the right direction and get but they don't know. You know, I didn't know until you guys reached. I had no idea. Yeah, I'm in Ohio, but that's what I'm saying. We need to be networking. This needs to be spreading over my way. Everybody needs to hear about it. I mean, I
I
think that's
believe with the
the reason
pictures
why
and the
these
other stuff
cases
that you
get
have,
so big is
you know,
because people are
maybe
talking.
we'll touch somebody and we could get, you know, we could finally say, you know, we've come a long ways and we refuse to give up by just getting in contact with the FBI that's willing to, you know,
Yeah.
help and say, you know, it's been this long and the family still ain't giving up. No, we won't give up.
No. And I will never be able to comprehend the people that expect you to.
Because I'll be the first to tell you, if I knew, somebody was in our shoes and I knew anything, I would be the one to call the police and come and get me and take me. And I'm going to tell you everything I know.
You
For
better
the
believe
simple
it.
fact, you took that person from their family, you know, and I don't care who hears it, you know, it is what it is. Don't mess with somebody's loved one.
You know, I think
Because
people
at the
get
same
caught up
time,
on the whole
karma's going to bite
snitch
you in your
thing,
ass, Daniela.
and they're afraid to talk. You know, there'll be a snitch, or I tell you what, I know when to keep my mouth shut, and I know when to talk. And if that makes me a snitch, then I guess I'm a snitch.
Yeah, I
You know,
wouldn't really
I
put
don't
one
blab
time
my
they
mouth
put on
about
me.
everything, but the things
Yeah.
that need to be said, you damn sure better believe I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
And I think we just need to throw that whole mindset out the way. Stop closing your blinds. Stop. We need to open them up, and we need to
Like,
help
I'll
each
be the
other.
first one to say, actually, we got a lot of fake fucking family in this family. But, you know, we got family say, well, come and help me search and come and help me search. When it's time to search, the only faces that are really showing up is the ones coming from out of state. You know, because I went on both searches. I don't ask nobody to help me nothing, get me there and get me back.
Now,
You know,
do you guys
but
have
if
a
it was one of
GoFundMe?
my family's, one of their nieces and nephew, oh, they want the whole bunch to come out, you know. And like I told my sister, I can say fuck them, you know, family or not. This is my niece. How would they like it if it was one of theirs? But everybody, they're fake. They're as fake as you can throw. That's why I tell my sisters, we really don't have family. Our mother is gone. We don't have nobody but us. If it got to be us, the only ones yelling help, well, that will be us. Still want help from wherever we can get help. You know, we were denied. We can't fly the drone from the chief of police in Imperial County. We were denied so much stuff.
They
But I don't understand. It's not them paying for it. You know, we could pay for whatever ourselves. But the only thing we want approval where we can, you know, and then we get, oh no, we can't do this and we can't do that. Why can't we? Because me, I'll be the first. I'm a bitch and I'll put everything out there.
You know, it's my niece, and it's my oldest niece, the one that had a big heart, Diana. You couldn't really get where she gets mad at you, because Diana don't stay mad long. You know, Diana's had her issues with drugs. I've had my issues with drugs, but you know what? Whenever we're ready to stop, we will stop.
Yeah.
You know, you can't judge somebody. Okay, you know, she was on drugs. Don't use that as an excuse. She's still missing.
Mm.
You know,
And
she means something to us.
No, and I'm sure Diana's touched a lot of hearts out there too. A lot.
I'm hoping she starts to touch everybody's, every single person listening.
Actually, Diana's one. If you asked her for the shirt on her back, she will give it to you and walk into the world. That's Diana. You know, and I hear, you know, what her daughters say. No, I lived with them. I know what kind of person Diana was. You know, my other nieces, I can't put nothing past them, but I know the one I'm speaking on. You know, that one, that's a good girl right there. And I don't see what she's seen in Danny, because Danny ain't nobody to look at. I really don't. But Diana don't look at people for their looks, you know? What matters to her, what's inside of them.
Yeah. And the worst part is there are people out there that can deceive and manipulate so bad. And you can think that you see it's right in front of your face, and you still make excuses, and you still, because you love these people. You can't, you know, I can't fault Diana for that, because she was pure where she was coming from. It was Danny who, I think, just manipulated that and took advantage of the type of person that she was.
Yeah.
You know, even though my niece was on drugs or whatever, I know when I lived with her, Diana, it was just a way to take care of her kids. You know, it was shocking to hear about my niece on it, but we're not here to judge her. You know, it doesn't matter how she was. She didn't deserve to come up missing.
I keep telling everybody, I don't care how black and white everybody's pretty little pictures appear. I bet you there's a lot of gray area in those pretty little lives if you really sat down and talked to them. Nobody's perfect, and everything is not black and white. I will be the first. Like, I have a lot of people on my page that know me, and I tell this in the rest of the videos I do. If I would even begin to say I was an angel, everybody on here would call me out so quick. Like, girl, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
My whole family know I'm a bitch.
No.
And you know what? I wear that name really good.
But I would still hope to think that if I went missing, that people wouldn't look at that and the things that I've done and say, kind of justify why I'm not here right now. That should have nothing to do with why anybody isn't here.
But actually, nobody has right to take somebody's life.
No.
Nobody has right to remove somebody from where they're standing. If they want to go, let them go. You know, it wasn't meant. But Daniela, she just really messed up. Yeah. I don't even think she has a part for her 3 sons. I really don't.
The people up there, they just need to look into her more than just say, okay, go ahead, go.
Yeah. And I don't understand what makes her so special to where they just keep slapping her on the hand.
California laws is very strict. So when I have told the police to go to Walmart in Yuma, they arrested her. They brought her. I got the videos where they're walking around. And then they go from Imperial County to Yuma to see her. And the next you know, she's being released. And that's on a parole and a probation.
Don't forget, Jenny, don't forget the bullets that they found on her.
Oh, yeah, they found bullets. And if you see that picture with her and a gun, but, you know, she tries to use that. But you know what? She should have came out. You know? She should have really came out.
Yeah.
Don't be a bitch and hide. You're talking a good one on the phone. Talking about you're gonna burn me like you burned my niece. Okay, bitch, we're here in your town, and you still ain't coming out.
I cannot believe she has a lot of balls. She thinks she's a
She
big
has
time.
balls actually for people that, you know,
But then if you really
who
look at
she
it, what
knows
is
to mess with.
she? Look who she picks on, you know? She wouldn't pick on any. I bet you she would never meet any of you ladies in person, like if you asked her to.
I don't think she
I don't
would.
see that out of her.
She wouldn't. She wouldn't.
Because you guys, I mean, you guys are. I'm not saying that you guys aren't soft-hearted like Diana was, but you guys have you can hold your own. You got that persona about you where you don't mess around, and but like Diana or Danielle go tend to zone in on people like Diana for a reason,
Yeah.
and but you still have a choice. Whatever happened that night,
I attempt to zone on her too, but she's not around.
yeah.
I want to see what she's like. I want to know how she is. I just want to know her just a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think we would all get to like to know Daniela in person.
Did you guys know? Did you guys know Danielle personally? Like, have you met her or?
I'm talking to her on the phone.
Yeah.
A few times. She seemed pretty good, but I still didn't trust her.
No, anybody.
But the whole thing, Ashley, to put this out there too, she was on my niece's Facebook messaging everybody, making it seem like it's Diana.
Yeah. And
you know, and
I don't
that's
understand
connected
how
to her
that's just
phone.
not
So
throwing red flags
would say,
everywhere.
he can't get in the phone. You're a cop. You should be able to get in them phones. You've had them this long and still nothing.
I think it's time to see if what we can do about getting it out of their hands.
And I want to say, Ashley, thank you. I appreciate everything.
Yeah.
And
now, do you guys have a GoFundMe or anything to help out? Like with, I don't know, raise enough money to get a private investigator. Have you guys ever thought of?
The group told me how to do it, but it's like they're hard to find out in that area, you know?
Yeah.
But Ashley, I'll go ahead and let you go.
Yes.
A while.
No, I
appreciate everything you've done for us. And I just got one thing to say. To me, fuck all the Imperial County Sheriff. Fuck the detective. You know, they ain't doing their job. They need to get on their job because we refuse to quit. You know, you guys got certain names. You guys need to go ahead and take them in and really do a good interrogation. I even asked for the lie detector test. You know what they told me? That's not going to stand in court. And that was out of Detective Republic, you know? And that's all I have to say. I just want my niece, and, you know, I wish whoever knows anything could message us, let us know what they know. And, you know, the money's there. So, hey, you guys could benefit off of it. The money, we could benefit off finding my niece, getting my niece home.
I was gonna say, at this point, these families don't care. Be selfish. Call in that tip and get that money. As long as it leads to. But come on, we don't care what your motives are. We just want,
Megan and Jennifer, and I will be in touch with everybody. Just don't forget about us.
We even put a $20,000 reward out there. Don't give us your name, just something to lead us.
Yeah.
You know?
Call, say what you need to say, click, hang up.
Exactly.
Everything could be exchanged, money and everything could be exchanged to the police department. That's fine. Yeah. Okay.
I really appreciate you guys. Like I tell everybody.
Thank you so much, Ashley.
Anytime you want to come on here, you just shoot me a message. You get an update or you said, oh, I forgot this. Let me know. And
the sad part about it is when the detective doesn't even want to accept your calls and you got his cell phone number. You know, the supervisor will never call back. So, you know, I feel up for the Department of Imperial County. to everybody has their own opinion, but that's how they're making me feel, and they're making me hate the law enforcement because, come on, you're supposed to help, not just sit on your ass and expect a paycheck because you're on an annual, you know.
And then if
But
you
I'm
don't,
going to let you guys go, and I'm gonna watch the video and share it.
I will. I
Thank you.
Thank
was
you,
so,
Ashley. Thank you
you
for
are
everything.
welcome. And I will
Yeah.
share everywhere, everybody on here. You know, they shared my video that I made earlier like 40 times. So I'm challenging everybody to double those numbers from 40 to 80. I want to see 80. So I hope they get it out. Share it to your, you know, you share it to your page, but I would prefer sharing to your true crime groups. Get them in there. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be on it and sharing and getting the word out. So
Actually, I appreciate everything
yes.
you've done. You took a lot off, you took a lot off my shoulders. I
Yes.
feel good knowing it's coming out more.
And I hope
And
that
come home soon.
I hope that everybody starts, and I hope they come together and you guys start to feel more like this is coming off your shoulders and you guys can just sit. You guys can just feel. I mean, our hope
Yeah,
is
I
that
do.
she comes home alive, but if not, you guys need to be able to sit down and grieve. And so that process needs to happen. So.
Okay, Ashley, but you can go ahead and share everything I sent you, and I will the picture, because maybe that will help us get more to the FBI. You know,
I'm gonna upload them to these. I'm gonna put them in these comments so that way it's all under the post and everybody sees it. So that way when they share the video, the pictures get shared with it.
Okay.
If that's all right.
Okay.
All righty.
God bless you.
Yes, you guys have a
Thank you.
wonderful night. Like I said, reach out if you feel that you forgot something.
God bless you.
Okay.
Bye, Ashley.
Bye-bye. All right, like I said, I thank you all for watching. I could sit up here and do this all day, but it's really going to take you guys sharing. Like I said, you guys can share on your personal page, but honestly, I would prefer you guys sharing with the people that are going to give us the best chance of getting the information out that needs to be out there. I thank you all for watching, and you guys have a wonderful night. I would love to see those share numbers. I really would. Diana's family would love to see those share numbers. I want to hear us talking. I want to know what you guys think. We need to get. I think that's a big part of getting these stories out there. Is we gotta keep talking about it. We gotta keep talking about the inconsistencies. We gotta keep talking about the things that don't make sense. So I am going to off here so I can share to all of my groups. I thank you guys for watching. You guys have a wonderful night.